welcome to everyone, and also those of you who keep track of these videos each week on YouTube. So welcome everyone. All right, so firstly, this is session number 6 of an 8-part series, and the series is all about your renovation timeline from start to finish. Your renovation timeline from start to finish. So when you're actually renovating, what happens in sequence? If you've missed the videos before this, you will find them on YouTube. So just put in the title and do a search under the renovation timeline from start to finish, and all of the videos should come up for you. All right, so here's session 6 of our 8-part series, and tonight is all about working with tradies. The title is Revolutionize Project Collaboration with Seamless Communications with Contractors. And what does that even look like? And what am I talking about? So number 1 is, before the project begins, when you're actually hiring your contractors, make sure that they feel right. Make sure that, I don't mean you guys squeeze them, that's a bit weird. I mean that they feel like they are a fit for you and the way you like to operate. Make sure that when you're talking to your tradies and your future contractors, that they're treating you seriously, that you feel like you're being heard, that they're friendly, that you feel like if you start to work with them, it's going to be good fun and not a drama. And then you have all of these conversations up front with your tradies about what it's going to look like. How are they going to get paid? How often are they going to get paid? How are you guys going to track the renovation between you? How are you going to make sure that you're staying on time and on budget? It's not just all about you and your responsibility. It is making sure that the tradies you're about to work with are on the same page, that you're all thinking alike. If you get the vibe that you're never going to be listened to, or that they think that they're like, we respect their expertise, right? But if you feel like they're not going to listen to you at all, like you're just going to be dismissed, then don't work with them. Say no right then and there. The worst thing you can do is really contract a tradie for your job and the communications not be great and relationships to break down. So make sure you get along. Make sure you listen to your intuition and how you're feeling when you're having conversations with these guys and gals before you start them. Make sure you've planned and prepared really thoroughly. Make sure that your tradies know your goals. Make sure you let them know where you're pitching the renovation, high end, medium end, complete budget, like no money kind of reno. Like make sure that they know exactly where you're pitching the reno, and make sure they're okay with that. There are many, many tradies who will insist on fitting the best of the best, so they might not be your guys, but the time to work that out is before you enlist their services, not during. Are there any last-minute approvals you need? Get them done as soon as possible. If you've made any changes to your plans, or if there's even plans in council, like make sure that stuff is sorted before you start. You do not want delays. Are the tradies along for your creative vision? How have you communicated your creative vision of the project? Do they have like visible things that they can refer to? Like how's the communication between you? There are so many ways of doing that these days, but make sure you've spoken to your tradies about how you're going to portray what's in your head so that they can go on site and put it all together. The more communication there is, the less worry there is while you're actually doing the job. The less worry there is while you're doing the job, the more ease there is when you're renovating, the less stress there is when you're renovating, and the less mistakes are made because everybody understands each other before you start. Hire reliable and skilled tradespeople. Make sure that they're qualified. Make sure you ask to see licenses, ABNs, etc. Make sure that their companies are registered. Do your checks, guys. It's okay to do your checks. It's not embarrassing, or you're not kind of digging into their business. You need to do these things for your own protection. And honestly, a really good tradie will let you know, hey, here's my license number, here's my ABN, here's some people you can speak to for references, here's some social proof of my work, here's some testimonials, all that kind of stuff. A good tradie will have all of those things. So hire reputable tradies in the first place. I know that cash is king, but if you start to do little underhand cash dealings with tradies and things go bad, you have virtually zero protection from, say, New South Wales Fair Trading or whoever is in your state who's supposed to look after you. So be very, very careful about, what kind of shady dealings you're doing with these tradies. Then, guys, once you're on site, set very, very clear expectations about how you're going to communicate. Talk about what are your non-negotiables? What do you require from them? When would you like them to check in with you? Under what circumstances are they allowed to keep on building without, even calling you? Some of these things evolve over time when there's trust between you both, but when you're starting out, you need to actually set these expectations so that everybody knows what's required of them. The clearer people are, like you might feel like you're being bossy, but the clearer people are, the more certain they'll feel, and they'll feel ease when they're working with you. They won't actually feel like you're, cracking the whip. They'll feel like they know where they stand and you know what's required and they know what's required, and everything becomes much, much easier. So establish a very, very clear base and establish a method of communication. So say if you have a great big piece of gyprock as you walk through the door where you write notes for each other, so they can leave at the end of every day and you can walk in after they've left and you can check and they can leave notes for you, or like, it doesn't matter what it is, a whiteboard, whatever. Just make sure that you're both on the same page, that if there's something really important, you need to leave an important message for them, or they need to leave an important message for you, that you will actually be able to get that message. You go to the one place for it and everybody will understand. Okay, regular communication is key. Set a time that you're going to check in all of the time, like all of the time. It might be 3 o'clock each afternoon. It might be every second day. It might be when you have to sign, if you're remote, if you're a long way from your renovation. It might be at the end of every substantial job. It doesn't matter what it is, so long as it works for you and it works for your tradies. Understand that if you change your mind or change a plan mid-renovation, that it's going to have knock-on implications for your tradies. Understand that if you don't like something that they've done and you walk in there all in a huff and you want them to rip it out and restart it, that is also going to have implications for your tradies. They don't like it at all. So be very, very careful about where you draw the line, what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. And if there's any way you can work alongside these guys and girls, the better off you'll be and the more peaceful your renovations will be. Respect their expertise. So if you come to, I'll call it a difficult corner, if you come to some kind of part of the build that is a little bit tricky, work with each other on finding a solution about what you're going to do. So listen to their suggestions. If they say something is impossible to get done, then take that as this is impossible to get done. Sometimes tradies will say, this is really tricky to get done, or this requires a lot of work. I'd be asking further questions. What exactly do you mean? How much work? How much extra time? Who else does it involve? Is there extra money or product involved as well? Like, I ask them extra questions because sometimes tradies, they want to get in, do their stuff, get out. So sometimes they will say, oh no, we can't do that. And you think, okay, why not? Ask them questions, right? But don't challenge their expertise, but definitely ask them questions. There's usually a beautiful middle ground, and then there becomes a real mutual respect between you and your tradie. Provide a really comfortable working environment. I think a lot of people forget things like toilets, having access to your toilet. If you're doing a renovation and you've still got flushing toilets on site, don't be fussy about your carpet or your floors, or let them know it's a boots off zone, or it's okay if you come in with your boots on. And then at the end of every day, you can do a quick sweep out and a mop if you're fussy about your floors. The easier you make it for your tradies, the more that they'll enjoy being on site on your project, and the more that they're likely to come back and work with you again. If you're a pain in the backside, when you ring your tradies for the next job you have, they will make every excuse under the sun not to come work with you again, right? So be pleasant for these guys and girls. So make sure that they know the rules about where the amenities are, boots on, boots off, Provide them with hygiene equipment, proper soap to wash their hands or a pump, and provide them with some paper towel or some clean hand towels every day so that they feel like they can sit down and have their lunch. Provide them with shade if there's no shade on the premises. Allow them inside. If your place is already a train wreck because it's being renovated, allow them inside. Doesn't matter. Make them comfortable. Keep them comfortable. If you've got a pool and it's a really, really hot day, tell them they're welcome to bring their cozies and their towels and have a swim. The more these guys enjoy being on site, the less they'll be ducking down the shops for meals or ducking out for coffee or making any excuse to go to Bunnings, and the less you'll be paying them for, wandering around. So, the other thing to do is if you're heading home and you've been out, give them a quick call and say, I'm on my way back. Who wants a coffee? Bring them coffee. Shout them a couple of meals here and there. It is not going to send you broke, but I tell you what, you're going to leave a lasting impression. You know how some people flip homes and they have this trade team and they're trusted and there's that great relationship between, the renovator and the trade team. These are the little things that matter. This is how you build those relationships. Expect the unexpected on a renovation. We all know that, right? But what I want you to do is handle things that go a little bit wrong or something that you uncover that's a nasty surprise. I want you to handle things with grace. And I don't want you to go all in a panic and be cranky. Handle changes to your plans gracefully as well. Always be prepared to exercise your plan B. Plan A might be great. Plan B might be good enough. I'm telling you, your buying market out there, if you're doing a flip, they won't know that you've used your plan B because they won't know what plan A you had in your head in the first place. So it's okay to go to plan B. You will get tradies to come back and work with you again. You won't be stressed. You won't have headaches on site. All of those things that people worry about in a renovation will be gone if you treat tradies with the respect that they deserve, that they've earned by being good at their craft and good at their trade, that they've earned by getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning and packing their vans and heading their way to your place. So if you think about renovating as a business, then, take it on as a more serious kind of thing. You need to be building these trusted relationships so that when you've established your trade teams, you can rinse and repeat so that these guys will come back and work with you so you don't have to look over their shoulder and check with scrutiny every time they do jobs, and so that you can scale. That means that you can have 1, 2, or 3 trade teams running at the same time, and it's just... you're creating ease and grace in your own world through treating tradies with the respect that they deserve. They come fully qualified. Look after your gang. That's it from me for this week. Thank you, everyone, joining us. And I will catch you next week for session 7 of our 8-part series. I hope you're enjoying it. See you guys.